how did the legend of St. Nick start? Firstly, he was the Bishop of Myra in Turkey, and he gave gifts to children and to the poor, and was said to have magical powers. So that's how it all began. Now, Italians actually took the legend of St. Nick back to Bari in southern Italy and built a monument that you can see there and a church in his memory. Now, in the 12th century, Christian pilgrimages took his legend to their native homes. So, for example, the Dutch took Sinterklaas, and they each basically gave St. Nicholas some characteristics from the local company. So, for example, the Dutch, when they went to America, they brought him over. He was then morphed into the jolly old man that you see there by people such as Washington Irving and Clement Moore through literary creations. Then famously adopted by Coca-Cola, who branded St. Nick, as you can see through the colour and the branding, and basically taken him worldwide since then. Now, in Holland, Sinterklaas sails on a ship. He arrives on the 5th, and he carries a big book. Now, like many countries, Santa Claus, or Sinterklaas, has an assistant, and he carries with him a rod that you can see there, and it's the assistant's job to whip naughty children, and Santa Claus's job to give the presents. So, for example, in Germany, they leave their boots out and the presents are left in the boots, rather than in England we generally leave their little stockings. In Poland, if you're naughty, you're given this bracken here, which is called Rozga, and the main present unwrapping is actually done on the 24th, rather than the 6th or the 25th. What the Polish do as well is they actually wait until the arrival of the first star, and they eat 12 dishes to symbolise the 12 apostles. Russia. So you have actually a few different faces. So you can see Santa is old Dedushka Moroz, and he actually appears with his granddaughter as well. And they actually have blue or white, or red or white colours, and they have a grandmother Christmas as well, Babushka. Korea, not famously known for their Christmas, they have their own version of Father Christmas. Santa Harabuji, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Korea is actually 30% Christian. So it's not a massive kind of commercial spectacle that it is in England and America. However, they do have, they typically begin their celebrations on the 24th and have either red or blue Santa there. Japan. Even though it's traditionally a Buddhist country, they do have a monk version of Santa Claus, and he's said to have eyes in the back of his head. So children who don't like to watch their behaviour when they're around him do actually talk of Santa as well. So they do kind of accept the more traditional Santa, even though he's perhaps not as well known. Venezuela. So here the presents are bought by Magi rather than by Father Christmas. And their camels, they come on camels arriving around the 6th of January. And there's another legend, folklore, that says that if they wake up with a black mark on their cheek, they've actually been kissed by Balthazar, king of Ethiopia, while they've been sleeping. So Christmas across cultures. Can anyone else think of any other Christmas traditions that we haven't touched on here today? Mistletoe? Okay, so how do you spend your Christmas? So we've got a variety of different traditions here: mince pies, mulled wine, mistletoe, church, and there's many more. Now, one of the ways which I typically spend my Christmases, I don't know about everyone else, but playing games. So we're starting off with the wooden top, Monopoly, Trivial Pursuit, and particularly when I was growing up, we would be given one of the latest consoles and many of the latest games between us as a family, and then spend the rest of the holiday season fighting over it. Now moving on through the ages, you're looking at the Oculus Rift, the next generation consoles like the PS4 and Xbox One, and even Google Glass, and gaming consoles on your wrist is something that we're looking for in the future. So, universally speaking, here are a couple of the games that we're working on and have worked on. So Lord of the Rings Online and DMC5, Devil's May Cry. So we're lucky enough to be involved in a lot of great, exciting projects. Now, how have we done this? We have been involved in the localization of these projects. So ensuring that you have a translation which carries across cultures. So for example, if you give 12 red roses to somebody in Russia, it means that they're dead. If you give a yellow rose to someone in Poland, it means that you hate them. So big cross-cultural differences there, and we aim to take all of those differences and make your game or interactive media really immersive to every different country, really widening your market reach and ensuring that you actually have more people enjoy the pleasure of your game or media. Quality assurance. The best way to give an example of this, so we have lots of different games out there, even more different handsets, so iOS, Android, and they're releasing new and updated versions of these on a weekly basis. We ensure that these games, for example, would work on every single new version of every handset and different modes of playing. Audio services. So we have studios across the world, and we can ensure that your voice, we had somebody recently requested the voice of Vin Diesel. So we're able to source people in different countries so that people across the world can experience that voice in different languages. Really helping to create that immersive experience. That's it.
The reason we've done these is primarily to help you guys just network that much better afterwards. So rather than have to do your intro pitch, every single time you meet someone, you can just quickly qualify who you want to speak to afterwards and crack on from there. It also helps you secondarily just rehearse your pitch and practice your pitch. Your elevator pitch for when you're in situations where you want to get attention and get a client or an investor and so forth. Anyway, enough of that. If you want to come and queue up here, and we'll get cracking with the pitches.